Y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we be like, all right.
Thank you, Roger Bonds, for putting it out there. It came to life for y'all. It came to life for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. What he look like telling somebody to whoop my ass? He didn't tell him that. He wanted me in the dirt and was trying to rock me to...
Gene Deal has stepped into the spotlight, appearing on interviews, podcasts, and live streams, sharing story after story that exposes corners of Diddy's bad boy era the public never saw. But with every revelation, Gene moves deliberately, fully aware of the weight of Diddy's power and the lengths it has gone to enforce silence. Those concerns aren't hypothetical. Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, has confirmed he was once instructed to target people who crossed Diddy. That acknowledgement doesn't just support Gene's accounts, it amplifies the stakes. This isn't gossip chasing attention. Bonds lived inside that world, saw the intimidation firsthand, and now warns the same tactics of fear and enforced quiet could be aimed at Gene today. What makes it most unsettling is that Gene isn't stirring drama. He's simply sharing the truth of what he witnessed during his years at Bad Boy. In an industry built on silence, speaking honestly carries its own real and dangerous cost.
And this a lot online. How you feel about the people that say that you should be worried if Diddy get out?
Well, needs something to say, bro. I'm not gonna worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I can bodyguard myself with his blessings. I can bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene got to be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried. Yo, bro, August the 14th, 1999. High-speed chase in Harlem. You understand? I didn't know that he didn't send nobody after me then. Because niggas do that shit. They'll send somebody at you. I've seen dudes that do shit and they have niggas right there in the same clique and they didn't even know he did it. So how I know those 4 guys, 5 guns to my head wasn't sitting by him. When Roger Bonds come and say later that Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal. How I know?
Let's unpack this, because what's happening goes far beyond viral headlines. It's about Diddy's empire under strain, a looming federal trial, and former insiders like Roger Bonds and Gene Deal stepping forward to reveal secrets the mogul never wanted public. And the closer you look, the more alarming it gets. Roger Bonds isn't just another voice online. He was Diddy's head of security from 2003 to 2012, protecting him in clubs, at awards, and behind closed doors, trusted with situations most will never see. In that position, Bonds observed the inner workings of control, the power moves, the intimidation, the pressure, until he eventually reached his limit and walked away. Since then, he's spoken more openly about what truly unfolded during that era. And when he speaks, people listen, because his account comes from first-hand experience, not rumor.
So let me ask you a question. How long before you started working with him did you start to see like red flags and did you know like, damn, this kind of crazy? Was it like immediate, or was it like he gained your trust and you started vibing and you started seeing shit? Or was it like off the rip you knew like, hey?
Enter Gene Deal. If you've been following this story, his name has been everywhere. He wasn't an outsider. He was a former bodyguard inside Bad Boy during its peak, when Diddy was building the careers of icons like the Notorious B.I.G. and shaping a generation of hip-hop. Gene didn't just witness history. He was part of the engine that made it run, standing in shadows at sold-out shows, outside VIP rooms, and in hotel hallways where deals were struck and secrets guarded. Since leaving Bad Boy, Gene has spoken candidly about what life was really like once the glitz and glamour faded. And after he stepped aside, his successor, Roger Bonds, eventually came forward, confirming key elements of the story from his own perspective. The alignment between their accounts doesn't just make Gene credible, it proves he was telling the truth all along.
Man, listen here. I want to let this young lady know, and I know this is not the place for it, brother, but please allow me to say this to her, man. You know what I'm saying? I started this battle long time ago. And the situation is that, bruh, we already won. This was some spiritual that Pop, the spirit of Pop, the spirit of Big, the spirit of Miss Jones, the spirit of Wolf, all the people that he has done wrong, you know, so Black, all the people that he has done wrong, bruh, is coming to light. We already won this spiritual. What we going through right now with these trials and everybody, you know, with this financial situation and everything like that, all that is superficial. That's the physical part of it. The spiritual part of it was won because Big, Pac, Wolf Mother, all the people that he did wrong, bruh, you understand? They already won the battle where we were supposed to win it at. So now we just going through the physical part of it, man. And I want that girl to know, man, that she ain't got to fear no man. She ain't got to fear him, nobody else, man. Whenever she needs, you understand? Whenever she needs somebody to travel, to go with her, to make sure she all right, you know, I'm a phone call away, man. I'm a phone call away. And you know, go ahead with your questioning, man. I just had to get that out, man, because that girl touched a lot of people, man, because all she wanted to do was write music, make music, and show her talent and her love to the people, man. And then she got to feel this way, be fearful and scared of her life and stuff like that. Ma, I ain't scared of no man. You understand? I ain't scared of no man. Nobody that got to put their pants on the same way I do. Not at all.
And for the people that don't know who Tiffany Red is, that's Cassie's best friend.
That's one of Cassie's friends. She was writing a lot of music, and she said that she was writing music for her friends to get. Oh my God, man, come on.
Here's the crucial distinction. While Roger Bonds is measured, reflective, and deliberate in how he shares his truth, Gene Deal is raw, unfiltered, and fiery. He speaks with a force that feels less like a prepared statement, and more like someone finally unleashing years of pent-up reality. That intensity is exactly what has made his interviews go viral, but it's also painted a massive target on his back. Because when you tell a story with emotion, anger, and zero restraint, you can't be ignored. And for someone like Diddy, whose empire was built on control, a voice like Gene Deal's isn't just inconvenient, it's a threat.
You know, leopard don't change his spots, and Diddy been doing this real long time, bro. He been doing this for a long time. And now another artist, this artist didn't wait 10 years. You know what I'm saying? He didn't wait 20 years. You understand? He waited a year or two after he stopped working with him and saw he didn't get what he was supposed to get. And he said, yo, listen here, man. I'm putting in my claims right now because I'm going to show everybody what really happened, what really went down. It's crazy. When I was reading I read the whole thing. Shout out to Keisha in Kansas City. She sent me the whole documentation, bro, and you know the whole court thing. And when I'm reading the stuff, you know, it sound a lot of it sound familiar. You understand? And what I mean sound familiar, how he would get other girls and get girls to try to, you know, convince this guy, you know, or put him in a situation with other girls so he could do whatever he wanted to do with them. And it's just like the situation somewhat with Sarah and her girlfriend and him and Ja. You know what I'm saying? Bringing girls on to try to convince this other guy to be in a room with another naked man and all this other bull. Yo, it all sound familiar, man. I read the whole thing, man, and it was crazy.
And for the people that don't know what you're talking about, because the lawsuit is new, so, some people still catching up with it. Little Rod, he alleges that, Young Miami cousin tried to have him in front of Diddy.
Yeah, he went into the bathroom, and then she came into the bathroom and tried to, throw herself on him. He didn't want to have nothing to do with her for whatever reason. And then when he came out the bathroom, she continued to try to do that and try to have, wanted him to have on Diddy and the rest of the people that was in there. That's how they do, man. They try to use a girl that you might like, or you may think you might like, or they think you might like her, or whatever, to convince you to lay down your guards with them. And he didn't.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And you're not surprised by none of this, because you said that Ja Rule, they did this to him, right?
No, remember, and people got it confused when I said that Ja and him was in the room with two girls, with Sarah and Sarah's girlfriend. You understand? He was trying to get Ja to go at Jay-Z. So what he did was try to get another girl, you understand, to do something with Ja. I guess, I don't know, they in the room together. So when they, in that thing, I know what he was planning on doing because I heard the conversation.
Recently, Bonds appeared on a podcast and delivered a stunning revelation, alleging that Diddy once issued directives aimed at intimidating Gene Deal and fellow Bad Boy insider Mark Curry after they spoke out publicly in the late 2000s. This wasn't framed as rumor or hearsay. Bonds described direct pressure he says he refused to fully comply with, drawing a picture of how dissent was handled behind the scenes. Consider the implication: a powerful mogul allegedly using fear and forceful tactics to silence former associates simply for criticizing him. That isn't trivial. It suggests a pattern of control through intimidation. And that's why Bond's warning to Gene today feels so unsettling. This isn't ancient history, it's behavior that echoes forward. If extreme pressure was allegedly used before, the question becomes unavoidable: what stops it from happening again, especially as unprecedented legal challenges close in? Bond's message wasn't dramatic or performative, it was deliberate. A caution from someone who lived inside that system, understood its rules, and knows exactly how those pressures are applied when silence is threatened.
As it's getting worse, you getting older. So as you getting older, you getting wiser. And you understand, okay, this stop. You know what I'm saying? None of this stop because there's nobody there to stop it. And this person is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So if you becoming stronger and stronger and stronger, what's there to make you stop? You know what I'm saying? Like what I feel like what he's going through now, that's enough to make you stop. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't never went through this and everything you going through gets swept under the rug, it ain't no reason for you to stop. Bonds ain't gonna make me stop. Bonds is just another security dude. Now I see that. You know what I'm saying? But when you live in it and you going through it, that person knows how to make you feel like, yo, you ain't gonna never gotta worry about nothing because this is what they telling you. This is what you seeing. So each and every day, I'm not gonna lie, you hope that that person wakes up the next morning and a red light went off in their head. You say, yo, I gotta treat better. Or I gotta treat a person better. Or I gotta do this. So that's what you hoping. And then you get to the point where you say, yeah, nah, make a change. You know what I'm saying? So one of the main things that happened was I got diabetes. Right. I was in Spain somewhere and I kept going to the bathroom like every 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm like, what are you going to the bathroom for? Somebody said, yo, you know, if you go to the bathroom a lot, you get diabetes. Because you got to remember, we was traveling and moving so much. There was places that we would be at that you wouldn't even drink the water. You know what I'm saying? Or they say, yo, if you from the United States, the water gonna make you sick.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been to Mexico a few times and got sick as hell off that water.
Oh, for the water. So you end up drinking sodas and juices all day long. So that's one of the things that happened. So I looked at it as like, that was like one of the ways that God got me out my situation.
So how did Gene Deal respond? With unmistakable, raw fear. In a recent interview, he admitted he now feels the need for protection, saying the threats feel real, the pressure is mounting, and he no longer moves through public spaces without constant vigilance. Pause on that reality for a moment. This is someone who once safeguarded one of the most powerful figures in music, now openly saying he doesn't feel safe standing alone. That reversal says everything. It signals how serious, how tense, and how dangerous this moment has become, not because of spectacle, but because the balance of power has shifted and the cost of speaking has suddenly become very real.
And start popping and passing it to dudes around them. I left from the area and got my own table. You not rocking me to sleep. You never rocked me to sleep. Though I worked for you, you wasn't doing no dirt. That's why my days was with you when you had your kids. Because you knew you couldn't do that dirty to me. And that's a good judgment on your behalf. Roger Barnes got on that show and said, he said, yo, we seen Gene plenty of times. But we knew Puff was a and we had to live in Harlem. That's because we know the same people. When Roger Barnes talk to people about me, they're gonna say Gene a stand-up dude. Gene was alright.
Gene has also described moments where he believes he was already being tested, including a recent incident outside a courthouse. According to him, a content creator repeatedly provoked and followed him, refusing to disengage until the situation escalated into a serious confrontation. Gene has said the encounter felt less random and more like an attempt to push his limits, baiting him into a reaction while he was already under extreme pressure. Whether that interpretation is accurate or not, the fear behind it is easy to understand. When you're being warned that immense power may be focused in your direction, even ordinary encounters can feel calculated, and every shadow begins to register as a potential threat.
Because I was starting to get sick in the situation. Like I was starting to wake up in the morning, damn, B, I'm still here. Even though I'm in an exotic country or I'm in an exotic place, I'm like, damn, I'm still here. Because the energy was off. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was going on around you was off. And you were expected just to stand there and do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's acquired of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, that was one of the things that made me say, okay, it's time to go. So I used my sickness as one of the reasons, like, yo, I can't be traveling with you, and I can't be doing this, that, and the other. The doctor said I need to be in a stable place. I need to get a certain amount of sleep. I need a certain type of food.
So you were trying to pull away.
I was trying to pull away. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I found that they had an opening, and so
with every viral clip, the pressure escalates. The attention that amplifies Gene Deal's voice now cuts both ways, serving as protection while simultaneously painting a brighter target. Visibility has become his defense and his risk at the same time. In this moment, the spotlight isn't just exposure. It may be the only barrier between him and whatever he believes is waiting in the shadows next.
If you do something to Gene, you're going to have to deal with Chaz, you're going to have to deal with Slick, you're going to have to deal with Cage people, you're going to have to deal with a whole lot of people that love that name. And that's the politics of Harlem. Roger Barnes know the politics of Harlem. So you have a homo cats out there right now that's talking all that shit. Gene paid his dues. Because I came here and talked about the character of this dude who wanted me dead. I been knew that. He ain't saying nothing I didn't know. Y'all could find somebody else to play with. That goes to show you what kind of dude this is. Instead of coming to the table to save Big and Tupac, he said it. This is the kind of character that y'all out here saying that y'all standing up for. People are still alive. Eric B, Big D, Suge Knight, they was gonna squash this East Coast, West Coast before Big was dead. He wouldn't even send a representative to the table. Not a table that he ate off of. The table that he got his millions from is having his ass for dessert. No dick.
How many stories are being buried right now because people are terrified of ending up where Gene Deal stands today? That's the real point. This isn't just Bonds and Deal versus Diddy, it's a test of accountability itself. It's about whether immense power can keep using fear as leverage, whether the culture keeps looking away, or whether people finally decide that truth matters more than comfort. What's unfolding isn't random or fleeting. It's the slow dismantling of an empire, piece by piece, as silence loses its grip and pressure replaces protection.